all you hear is do, 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 do. Lala looked at me. She like, Mary, she really, go in my room, go in my room. So Lala telling me to go in her room. She like, here I come. All you hear is this security, open the door. She like, I'm coming. So she opened up the door. So I'm not in her room, but I'm in the hallway. They like, we need to search your apartment. She like, no. She like, you can't search my apartment. So they like, we need to search it. She like, well, you're going to have to bring the management up here. Because I said, nah, ain't no security guards. What y'all searching my apartment for? Y'all searching everybody's apartments. So I'm like, oh my God. So I creeped in the room. So Lala girlfriend, she was like, what's wrong? I'm like, it's the security guard out there. She like, oh, I'm like, I don't supposed to be. I gotta find somewhere to hide. She like, get under the bed. I'm like, no, I'm going in the closet. So I go in the closet. So Lala shut her door. Lala coming in. She like, shorty. I'm like, huh? She like, come on, hurry up. So I'm like, what? She like, grab your stuff. I'm like, all right. So I grab my little hoodie. She like, I get the rest of your stuff. Come on. So the security guard had left. Me and Lala, we took the stairs. She took me through the laundry room. She like, you're going to have to climb up here. Now, the way you shoot down, she wanted me to climb up. I'm like, I'm not going to be able to climb up. She like, that's the only way you're going to climb up to be able to use the other door. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I'm scared. She like, go, because they going to see you. They going to see you. Just go. So I'm like, all right. So boom, she leaves out the laundry room. She gone. So I'm like, oh my God. Now, once I climb from out the laundry room, I'll be in the classroom and it'll be easy for me to just open up that door and take that entrance. Even if the security guards see me, I'm already by the door. I'm just going right through the revolving door. So I'm like, oh my God. When she walked out, it's do or die. It's do or die on me. So I'm like, oh my God, because the thing is they had like little windows. So you could, like, if they was walking past, they could see. They could see inside the laundry room. So I go inside the thing. So now I'm climbing all the way up. I'm like, so then I kind of slid a little bit. I'm like, oh my God. Now, mind you, I had hit the placky. I had hit the Zaza, you know what I'm saying? So it was like I was already like, I just got done doing it, all that. So I was kind of exhausted. So I finally see that I'm getting up there. I get up there, pull myself up. Boom, come out the other side, open up the classroom door, boom, walk straight out. When I walk straight out, it ain't even no security guard in sight. I mean, I'm just walking clear out, face out. Boom, I dip, I'm free. Now, I never knew at that moment what happened. So time and time progressed. Lala hit me up like, hey, shorty, what's going on? I'm like, nothing, chilling. She like, Tracy coming over here, I'm finna tell her today. I'm like, oh my. She was like, yeah, because Mary was sitting up there making crazy little posters. I'm like, all right. She like, you want to be on the phone when I tell her? I'm like, yeah, I'll be on the phone. She like, I know you can't come here. I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to get Mia to get me at the bar list. So boom. Tracy comes there, but Tracy comes there with her new boo, with her new guy. So she comes there. So she like, hey, G. She like, hey, what's going on? Ooh. You cool, bean? She like, yeah. She like, what's up here to eat? So I'm hearing the conversation. She like, hey, I just want to let you know I got Shorty on the line. So you hear her say, for what? She like, oh, no, I got something I want to tell you. And so she like, what's up? And so she like, G, you know I love you. I'm like, I'm sitting there like, thank God I'm not there. Like, you know, I was chilled. I went back to my friend's house, so I was chilled. I was put up. So you hear Lala like, you know I love you. She like, you know I love you, girl. You my ride or die. She like, gee, I don't know if you're going to forgive me. So I'm like, oh my God, she finna say it. She like, me and Shorty, we did it. And you hear her say, did what? She like, we had sex. She said, y'all had, when this happened? So I'm like, she like, hold on, Roshan. I'm like, yeah. She like, okay, where you at? Cause I need to see you. I'm like, oh, I'm at my guy house right now. She like, you know what? So that's what you gonna do? You gonna do my sister and you gonna do Lala. But she said, you gonna my sister and you gonna Lala, that's what you gonna do to me? I'm like, it wasn't like that. She like, I don't want to hear it. She like, I know I did some bogus stuff, but you out here just being foul to me for real. Like, I don't even know what to think. I'm finna go. I gotta go. So she was like, here, y'all have fun. And I heard her tell her boyfriend, like, let's go. So I was like, oh my God. I'm on the other end, like, so Lala like, man, that go out 13 years. I'm like, I'm sorry. She like, no, I know her. We gonna talk and she gonna get over it. Now, as time progressed, Lala was cool with me. If I post a pic, yeah, she'll like it. Comment, no. She never really hit me up until like years later, right? Years later, I popped up on her feed and, you know, she was like, oh, yo, what's going on? And we was talking and I went to go see her at her new home, okay? Now, prior to that, of me seeing Lala, I had saw Mary, but it was years later, right? She had got her new home and, you know what I'm saying? I was drunk one night. I had my apartment, you know what I'm saying? My first apartment, I was lit. And I had did a little post, you know what I'm saying? But I was crashing with people, but it was my crib though, you know what I'm saying? I still had like two of my best friend, Red, and then I had one of my other buddies, you know what I'm saying, always crashing in with me. So they was always picking up the weight too, because we was out there just hustling at the time, you know what I'm saying? I was out there selling a pack at the time before I realized like the streets ain't where it's at. So I'm like, man, you know what I'm saying? I made a post like I'm drunk, you know what I'm saying? I showed a Hennessy bottle and I posted on Snap. So she like, where you at? I'm like, why you care? Like, long time no here, like, she ain't never checked on me or nothing. So she was like, oh, I got my own place. She was quick to tell me that, but I had already knew because I heard through the grapevine and I saw a few of her posts too. So I was like, oh, that's what's up. That's cool. So she was like, you missed my housewarming. I'm like, oh, I could come see you, you know what I'm saying? If you want me to. She like, I was going to tell you to come over anyway. I'm like, yeah. She like, come over now. I'm like, I'm wasted. I knew I couldn't function. Like, nah, I'm good. So I'm like, nah, I can't. I'm like, I ain't got no ride. So she was like, all right. She was like, maybe tomorrow. I never come. Every time she was setting dates, I would never come and see her. Right? So all of a sudden, boom, I'm talking on the phone with Lala. She like, guess who's over here? I'm like, who? And she passed the phone and it was Tracy. I was like, oh, what's up? She like, hey, she like, you know, Lala having a get together. She like, you should come through. I'm like, oh, I'm like, I don't want to come through. She was like, you still be talking to my sister? I'm like, no. She like, what's your number? Give me your number. Give me your number. I'm like, yo, boyfriend, because I'm thinking she's still with the same dude. Yeah, it's been a couple of years, but I'm thinking you with the same dude. So I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you know, your boyfriend gonna get mad. She like, I don't got no boyfriend. Wow, you cannot hold a man, huh? So boom, I ended up shooting on my digits straight up. She was like, I'm finna call you right now. Hold on, wait, stay right here. So she made me stay on Lala's phone, on Melissa's phone, and call me off her phone. And I click up, I'm like, hello. She was like, I just wanted to make sure. I'm like, not you thinking I'm sending you off. I'm like, bye, girl. So boom, we hang up. Boom, I end up seeing Mary, though, in the midst of that time, right? Now, I didn't go to the get together. I didn't see Tracy nothing. So when I made that post when I was lit, it was like, Mary, I'm like, hey, I didn't think of it. It was like, dang, they coming around at the same time, but I wasn't tripping. So when I went to go see Mary, as soon as I walked in, she had on lingerie right now. I ain't never get to see her in that type of clothes because when she was at Lala crib, she had on full set of clothes and we was smashing in the closet, bathrooms or the kids' room. So I come in, I'm like, whoa. I'm like, you look nice. She like, I'm cooking. I'm like, what you cooking? She like, guess. I'm like, nachos. She like, close, tacos. I'm like, you still love tacos? She like, you know I love tacos, boy. I'm like, where the kids at? She was like, oh, they out with their grandma. I'm like, oh, they still be out with the grandma, huh? She like, yeah. So I'm like, you still talk to Phil? She like, he cool. You know, he sobered up and this and that, but we don't do none of that. Like, he got a girlfriend, he do his own thing. Ooh, I'm like, oh, okay. But you knew too much in that little miss, you knew too much. Long story short, I end up banging her a couple of times. Now, she realized that I was still cool with Tracy because Tracy had told this girl named Dee Dee that was mutuals with Mary, and Dee Dee had told Mary. You get what I'm saying? So they was all like, so when they all was kicking it, and because Tracy and Mary relationship was never the same no more after that. So when they went out and had a girls' night out, Dee Dee was trying to bring them together because they was like always super close. So they was up there talking, and Mary had already knew, so it already got splittered out. So when Mary came to me, she like, can I see you? I'm like, for what? She like, I want to see your face. Come see me. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna come see you. Now, I didn't know at the time everything I just explained had happened. I didn't know. So I come there, boom, I get a ride, get dropped off. She open up the door, still looking good. So she like, I got some wine. You want some wine? I'm like, yeah, I'll take some wine. And so she poured me some wine. I'm like, I really want hard liquor. So she like, okay. So she got my cup, pulled the wine back in a bottle, savage, and got some vodka. I'm like, oh, all right, that'll do. Boom. So she like, so you remember Dee Dee? I'm like, yeah. The girl that got the sister, right? I'm like, the girl that keep inviting me to come to her parties. And you thought she liked me because one time Tracy tried to fight me because she saw Dee Dee flirt with me. And one time Mary, like low key though, because she couldn't be loud with hers because I guess I was Tracy's at the time. Like, oh, Dee Dee wants you. Dee wants you. Woo, woo. She always be bragging about you, talking about you, woo, woo. But see, I never knew that. And I wasn't looking at her like that. She was fine, but I just knew she was easy because she used to have so many guys come through over there at her mom's house. So I already knew what type of girl she was. So, boom, she like, well, you know, Dee, she invited me out. She wanted to have some drinks. You know, I smoke a little bit, so I'm like, oh, you smoke? She like, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. She was like, and Tracy was there. I'm like, oh, okay. Now I'm puzzled because I'm like, okay, I'm just thinking she telling me what's going on. She just needs somebody to talk to. She just need a lending ear. She was like, and Tracy's basically told Dee that you and her be talking on the phone and this and that. I'm like, I mean, I saw her. I'm like, we cool. I'm like, but we don't even talk. I'm like, we don't talk like that. I'm like, you can go through my phone. She was like, if you still dealing with my sister, you're not finna keep doing this. You doing this still years later. I'm like, I'm not. I'm like, you know what? If you believe that I'm walking out, she like, I believe it. I'm like, I'm not talking to that girl. I said, okay, look, you know what? I'm not doing this. I'm like, I'm just gonna leave you alone. She was like, okay. I'm like, all right. So I walked out. I never talked to Mary again, right? Until about maybe 3 years ago, probably like, what, 2020? 2020, she hit me recently and was like, oh, I see what you're doing on social media, you know, congratulations. You know, and she reached out to me, and then Lala, and then some of Lala family. Lala birthday had recently just passed. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Lala. Shout out to her sister too, Angie. I appreciate all y'all. Shout out to Devon. Shout out to Denaria. Shout out to Cece, Tracy, Mary. Now, I don't really talk to Tracy like that. I haven't talked to Tracy in I don't know how long. I know last time I saw her, she looked a lot different. You know, like how you talk to a bad girl and when they age, you be like, whoa. But she, you know what I'm saying, she's still cool vibes. Shout out to her mama, Rosalind. You know, me and Q, we never end up being cool. He, you know, he was always cordial, but a little bit afterwards when he saw me. But we never was cool, but still shout out to him. Thank you guys. What I did, I want you guys to take though, for the most part, is never do that. Never do that. That was, I know, like, in a sense, like, oh, man, you was a player all day. Yo, you had to, like, it was stressful for me too. I put myself in a really hard situation, and I broke up a family. Like, I broke up sisters, you know, and you know, years later they're not the same, you know. So that's something I learned, and I apologize to both of them sincerely. You know, years later I had apologized deeply, and after that I have never dibbled or dabbled back with them on that level. So that's something that I would never ever do again. But other than that, we're ending this chapter with the two sisters. Y'all make sure y'all give it a thumbs up. We definitely gonna be working on a new story time, getting ready to drop that joint. I want to tell y'all I love y'all. Thank y'all for the support. Thank you for paying attention. Thank y'all for dropping the comments. And don't forget, we doing a giveaway this month. It's Christmas. It's Christmas month. It's time to get some holiday cheer. Shout out to everybody. I love y'all. Goat family. And we gone. Yeah.